Hello everyone, this is Metroid Gamer here. Welcome to Metroid Prime 1, the Metroid Prime Trilogy series, episode 17. In the last episode, we have just gotten the grapple beam from the magnetic rail system. In this episode, we actually need to backtrack to get our very own X-ray visor. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And yes, I am doing actually post commentary this time because I actually did record this video like ahead of time, but I'm gonna see how it goes. Especially since I do have something planned special for either this episode or the next episode. Probably the next episode. I'll probably have something ready for you guys. So, yeah. Anyways, it's gonna be it's gonna be not really too much backtracking for this one. It's actually pretty close to the Phasm Mines. It's like literally one area away. Like it's literally located here in Talon 4. I mean, Talon Overworld, but and yeah, of course I ended up falling there. It's like if you're trying to be too flashy in this game. Trying to do the whole jumping and shooting in 3D. Kind of like in Mega Man or something. But yes, I only got 125 missiles right now. And I always found it kind of funny how I got 11 energy tanks, so I'm only missing 3 energy tanks, but I'm missing like 130 missiles. But I'll probably dedicate maybe 1 or 2 episodes to getting the rest of the missiles in case if I miss some obvious ones like along the way. Or I'll probably do like annotations saying, hey, like I actually missed a missile expansion right there. But anyways, I try to skip all these blood flowers right there. Try to freeze them all. But I ended up taking some damage there, but not really too much damage. Like I said, I got 11 energy tanks, so I'm not really too worried about taking damage. I've always liked this little, magnetic rail system here. It's kind of like a can opener, kind of. But of course, I have my own pet peeves about, the spider ball system in the game. Like sometimes, it ends up going backwards even though you're going forwards, so it kind of glitches a little bit. And yeah, I actually am trying to get a missile expansion here, but I literally spent almost 2 minutes, trying to, get all the way up there, but for whatever reason, I wasn't, able to keep the same momentum all the way around. I'm here trying to do basically an all around the world kind of thing. But the problem is, like, there's 2 gaps. And I always keep, losing momentum right at the middle of the bottom of the loop. I'm not so sure why. Like right there, I end up losing my momentum right there. I really have no idea why. Like, I usually do not struggle with this little loop right here, but yeah. I also like to point out that the Merfolk really looks cool. This color, I really like the kind of like the bluish green color of the Merfolk here. That's probably one of my main reasons why I like the design of the gravity suit the best. Maybe the various suits. I think the Phasm suit, which we'll probably see later on, is a little bit too, I don't know, too plain black for my taste. I mean, like I said, I like all the suits in the game, and I understand their importance, especially the Phasm suits. It's supposed to protect you from the Phasm, which you will not be able to have that same luxury in the next Metroid Prime game. So I guess it's one thing that I should point out there is that, pretty much all the suits in this game are exclusive to Metroid Prime 1, except for the various suits. And every beam in this game is also excluded to Metroid Prime 1 as well, except for the power beam, aka the pea shooter. But anyways, yes, we do get the X-ray visor. So, and here I wanted to point out that when you're using the X-ray visor, yes, you are able to see things that you've not seen before, like hollow walls or walls they can actually break in this case. I also wanted to point out that, if you're playing this for the first time, you cannot destroy it with the missiles. You can't destroy it with any charge shots or any super missiles, so it leaves you with one other option, to use your power bombs. I mean, yeah, you could try the Morph Ball Bomb, but it's like, there's really no point in doing that if you know that, that you need something even stronger than a super missile to actually break the walls. So that's the reason why I wanted to show off, that you gotta use the power bombs to break those. And on top of that, it's like multiple walls, so it kind of does make more sense to actually break them with the power bombs as opposed to a charge shot or a missile. And yeah, I also wanted to point out that there's actually no important scans here. It's basically kind of a sanctuary slash battlefield, which I'll actually show off later on. So, and yes, it is going to be a battle that you kind of unexpect, I guess. But at the same time, like, especially if it's your first time, it's like, you look at this area, it's like, oh my god, it's so peaceful, I wish I could sleep here, kind of thing, and then later on, after you see, what is infested here, you might change your mind. Like, okay, you see this nice waterfall right here, then you go right here, and boom, there are 3 Chozo ghosts. You have to destroy all of them, and normally this fight would be annoying for me, but I actually did not do too bad this time. I actually only spent maybe like 3-4 minutes, trying to destroy these guys. And here they are, trying to use their Kamehameha wave at me. And like I said, my main pet peeve about these guys is when they keep using those, those Kai Blast waves slash, Kamehameha waves at me. Like, it always cancels my charge shots. So I always try to shoot my charge shot before they shoot theirs, so yeah. Or if I get really lucky, I'll end up hitting them with a super missile. This is really, like, not the best area to be fighting creatures, especially creatures like these. Because they'll keep, just swift raiding around, and of course I end up actually destroying one of them there, so. And the reason why this is actually surprisingly a decent run with these guys. Yep, and the second one's already dead. But yeah, I normally do, struggle with these guys a little bit. It's not that they're scary, it's just they're annoying. Like, I don't mind like dealing with just one of them, but 3 of them, especially since they cancel your charge shots, and you usually rely on your charge shots and your missiles to destroy them. Well, maybe not missiles, because like, so far the only thing I've actually been able to, destroy them with are my missiles and my super missiles. Like, I've never actually used like a wave beam or an ice beam because for funny reason, I can actually never really seem to do damage to them with the other beams. Maybe you could beat them with the plasma beam, I never actually tried that yet, but I usually just beat them with my pea shooter. So, yeah. And if you decide that you do not want to use your super missiles against them, they usually take like 5 charge shots and they're dead. And yeah, like I said, these guys can take a while to beat, especially when it gets down to this last one, this big old area right here. And I'm waiting for him to come out, and of course he gets into that animation, which is, in my opinion, the easiest animation to actually catch them at, is when they're like flowing up in the air trying to use like some kind of like spirit bomb move or something. I know this isn't DBZ, but I like to, compare it to that just because, it's fun. Those creatures are fun. There's a lot of fun creatures in this game. That's the reason why I love this game. Is, it's very simple. Like, a lot of the creatures are pretty fun, except maybe, even the Chozo ghosts are actually quite fun. It's just, they take a while, and when I'm recording stuff like this, I don't want to, like, spend, like, 10 minutes, just fighting 3 enemies. I mean, so I'm glad that actually went out pretty well. But anyways, I actually do, yeah, the way you get back from here is not what you expect. You actually can only get back from that area through that crazy pathway that I just took. Like, you cannot just, double jump back there. It doesn't work that way. And yes, yes, you can actually head over to Chosen Ruins, which is what I want to do right now, because there's actually something else that you need to do right here. We actually need to get one more upgrade besides the X-ray visor. It's like once you get the, if you have your hint system on, it will tell you that you need to go ahead and go to the groves to get your X-ray visor. But then like 5 minutes later, as soon as you get back to like Phase of Mines, and you realize that, oh, I have to actually go back to Magmar Caverns to actually get a plasma beam. So that's how I knew that I need to get the plasma beams through the hint system ahead of time. So if you're using the hint system, like, don't feel bad, because it's actually what the hint system is for, so that way you don't get stuck in these boring parts in the game, and then you can actually progress through it and not have to fight a whole bunch of respawning enemies. I mean, granted, it's still a really nice place to explore. All the areas are fantastic, including the Chosen Ruins, Phantom Drifts, but I've actually have grown to like the Phase of Mines the best, just because of how intense it is, and of course its difficulty curve. It's like you play it all the way, like you do not fight any space pirates until you get to Phantom Drifts, which is crazy, because you go into Chosen Ruins and even like half of Phantom Drifts is like nothing but bugs, and just a bunch of like Magmors and stuff like that, auto turrets and stuff like that. So, but then you get to the phase of mines, you actually fight some legitimately difficult creatures to beat. Like, there are some creatures that take 3 super missiles, maybe 4 super missiles to beat. That is crazy. That means that you have to waste 25 missiles on them. And that's actually one of the things I like to point out in this game, is that missiles and power bombs are what you can actually are the only kinds of weapons that you have that you can actually run out. You can't run out of beams. All the beams that you have are unlimited. When you play through Metroid Prime 2, the only beam that you have that is unlimited is the power beam. Everything else actually has an ammo limit to it. So yeah, that is one thing I wanted to point out. And I think the drop rate for the power bombs is actually a little better than the next game than it is for this game. Because that one episode, where I had to spend like maybe 10-12 minutes, trying to pick up all the power bombs that I've wasted, just in order to just, get past a certain puzzle or a certain blocked area. That was crazy. That was nuts. But in this run, I guess maybe like the little run that I had to do, in order to get back to where I was from episode 6, that actually didn't take as long. I guess I was just really unlucky that episode, where I had to spend like 10 minutes, trying to get all the power bombs. But I did speed up, my backtracking and everything, so I try to make it more bearable to watch. I also want to point out that, I know I've been badgering you guys that you cannot actually go to this little heated area in Chosen Ruins, until you actually get the various suit and the grapple beam. But right now we actually do have, the grapple beam, so we are able to, to do what we need to do there. And yeah, if you're going for 100%, you do have to go to this area, because there is something special that we need to get. So yeah. Anyways, let's go ahead and shoot the grapple beam at these hooks right here. So, anyways, let's go ahead and put on a weight beam, get across here. And of course, we have to go ahead and fight some more Chosen Ghosts right here. There are 2 of them. Being the Chosen Ruins, you're going to expect, to fight a whole bunch of Chosen Ghosts. See, I try using a charged wave beam at them, and it doesn't do any damage to them. It doesn't do any damage, so that's the reason why I use the power beam method. Because I think that's the only thing that they were really affected by. Unless, of course, you know, Wikitroid would actually tell me otherwise. But as far as I know, the only way you can defeat them is power beam. And yeah, this is a cool little area. I actually like this area much better as an arena to actually fight creatures. Because, you know, they're not really so hard, you know, to catch this time. It's like they're either way far in the back, or they're at this little half pipe right here, or they're at the very main entrance where you were just at. So it's a very, very simple area, which is why I actually wanted to show off, you know, they can actually shoot charge shot after charge shot after you hit the Chizagos with the charge shot. I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's just like a frame rate, perfect timing kind of thing, but I think I was able to pull it off, you know, one other episode or in a practice run. And yeah, we do unlock 2 more ball slots that can actually activate. One of them, you know, actually takes you way out of here, and the other one takes you to something that you want to get if you want to get 100%. And I believe that you guys have already saw that, even though I wasn't really supposed to show you guys. Yes, it is an energy tank. So, yeah, like I said, it's crazy how I'm able to find basically almost every energy tanks, but literally I am missing 120 missiles right now. That's a lot of missiles, especially considering that every missile expansion is 5. So it means I'm missing 24 expansions. I need to get on the ball here. Literally. And yeah, as far as I know, there's really nothing special in this little morph ball area right here. It's just a whole bunch of pistons, you know, moving up and down. I'm not even sure what the heck that I should call this, like a maze or something. It's not even a maze. It's like a little morph ball action area, I guess. But anyways, this area right here is very important, especially in your 100% run. You see that little grapple hook right there? Yeah, you want to time that just right, or else you're going to have to start all over again and just jump all the way up there again. At least that's the way that I know how to reach that grapple hook. I'm not really sure if that's actually if there's actually a different way of actually catching that. But anyways, we actually need to get back to our main quest here to get our very own plasma beam over at the Magma Caverns. And of course, you know, in my opinion, I think the backtracking is not as bad in Metroid Prime 2 than it is in Metroid Prime 1. Metroid Prime 1, it's like, it feels like everything just kind of floats together, kind of. It's like Town Overworld kind of feels like the main area, sort of, but not really. I mean, it kind of is a little bit. I mean, there was like this one Crash Frigate area that I would like to consider a very significant part of Town Overworld. And of course, you know, Magma Caverns kind of feels like a little linked area between, you know, the other areas, like Chosen Ruins. Well, not really Chosen Ruins, because we actually had to go to Chosen Ruins first to get to Magma Caverns, but, you know, you weren't really asked to get anything, like, you know, important there. Except for this one specific exception. And it's probably the only exception. Maybe another exception would be, like, a chosen artifact. I don't know if there's actually one of them or 2 of them, but we do know that we actually need to get 12 of them in this game. So, yeah. Also, just a fair warning, there is actually a hurricane all over at the Caribbeans. So if I don't have any episodes posted like sometime on like Thursday or Friday, it's because of power outage. But I will promise that I will upload all the episodes for Thursday and Friday on Saturday if there is any power outage on the day. So I'll promise you guys that. I try my best to keep my promises as much as possible. So it's like, even if I miss like a day, you know, of posting videos, I will make up that day by putting 2 episodes on the day after. So, but anyways, you know, this area is a little bit interesting right now because remember how there used to be puddle spores right there? Now they're not there anymore. I'm not so sure why. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, and of course we have all these little spinners right here. I also like to point out that you can actually access this little portion right here now that we have a grapple beam. So that grapple beam was actually a very, very important expansion to get. So that when you backtrack through the game, you'll actually be able to, you know, collect whatever you need to collect. Anyways. And yeah, I go ahead and just spin all these platforms up. Now, this is also as I consider a significant area, kind of like the Crash Brigade portion over at Town Overworld. Maybe it's not quite as like magical, but it does definitely stand out for this area, especially considering that, you know, there really isn't anything, you know, particularly striking about this area except for the fact that it's just, you know, like a linked area between Phaedrina Drifts and Chosen Ruins, or Phaedrina Drifts and Phase and Mines. Well, yeah, you can actually get to Phase and Mines from Magma Caverns. Yeah. So it's basically like a main area, kind of like the Town Overworld. It's like a fiery main area, sort of like that. I guess it's probably one reason why, you know, I kind of prefer Metroid Prime 2 over this game, because like there is just one main area and there's not like 2 main areas that kind of just link together. I mean, granted, I know that Metroid Prime is an exploration game, and that is what I love about this game, is the exploration, the atmosphere. It's really good. And of course, you know, it's a Metroid game. And this is actually the very first time that you actually see this in a third-person perspective. At least at that time. So, of course, there were other, you know, 3-dimensional or, well, first-person, you know, Metroid games like Metroid Hunters for the DS, and there's also Metroid Other M, which is like basically a first-person / third-person shooter kind of game. So it kind of switches back and forth in that game. But yes, for the most part, this was a unique idea for the series. And I believe there actually was no like spider ball, there was no boost ball in the series. They kind of like basically emphasize the fact that Samus can actually turn into a morph ball, and therefore they give her all these morph ball puzzles, which some people like myself, you know, actually really enjoy this game. It's probably one of my favorite parts of this game is, you know, just being able to turn from third-person perspective in a ball and then to first-person perspective in, you know, shooting mode, even though it's not really a shooter game, it's mostly adventure. And here we have our very own Plasma Beam. And I'm actually going to call it an episode right here. So thank you guys for watching. This has been the Mega 2 Gamer here, signing out.